welcome to the APTA's third Grand Prix event of the season. Duane Hayden Long Island Invitational, brought to part by local sport from Long Island Platform Tennis League, Axiom Markets LLC, Stereo Family of Music Brands, and APTA national sponsors Viking, Save a Tree, and Uline. We are live at the Huntington Country Club on Long Island, New York, on the APTA network, presented by our live stream production partner eNet Live. I'm Brad Easterbrook alongside Patty Hogan, bringing you the quarterfinal match between the number 4 and the number 5 seeds. And Patty, why don't you tell us about our teams we have out there?
Okay, our number 5 seeds, Martina Ondrejkova and Anna Zubori, are a human highlight film at every second, Brad. And they're playing Delmonico and Molenveld here. And Delmonico, I have to point out, is the defending champion in this event. Last year, she won this event with Florentina, and they beat Liz and Roxy Kruzenanica last year. So now she's tooling up today with Mirta, and this is one of the most highly anticipated matches so far this season, Brad. And all 4 players bring a lot of firepower, and this is really going to be an exciting match. Carrie Delmonico now resides in Summit, New Jersey, and Mirta Molenveld, her partner, Stamford, Connecticut. Anna Zubori resides in Westport, Connecticut, and Martina Ondrejkova lives in Stamford, Connecticut.
Absolutely. So this is actually a rematch, Patty. These two teams played against each other in the finals of the Lake Invitational earlier this year, and our number 5 seeds, Martina Ondrejkova and Anna Zubori, they actually won that match against Delmonico and Molenveld 6-3, 6-2. So I'm sure Delmonico and Molenveld are looking for a little bit of a revenge here, and maybe they even change their strategy a little bit, because right now Ondrejkova and Zubori are bringing a ton of firepower out there. Zubori's crushing the ball, hitting a lot of hard overheads into the screens, trying to create a lot of movement into the other screen. She likes it when the points go fast, doesn't want these balls to go long points. So we'll have to see. What do you see from either team out there?
Well, I think that's going to be a key point to this match, because those powerful overheads that Zubori and Ondrejkova bring out, could be a factor here against Molenveld and Delmonico. And when you talk about speed, quickness, and scrappiness, sometimes the shots Anna and Martina hit are hard for anyone to track down, let alone, Mirta and Carrie, I wouldn't say are one of our fastest teams out here. They're talented. Carrie knows the game so well. She loves to be the commander-in-chief on the court, but they're not extraordinarily fast.
Right, so they're going to have to make sure they can control the tempo, or if the hard overhead come, make sure they get good looks at a nice drive that they can drive through their opponents, or put the ball up high again to give them time to resettle back into these points. That said, they have plenty of offense themselves, and they are the number 4 seeds, Delmonico and Molenveld. So this will be an interesting match. I think with a lot of this stuff, they got to withstand the tide and the heavy drives. So do you think we'll see a lot of serving and staying back, or do you think it'll be a lot of different service strategies, or do you think teams will just react to that as it comes?
Well, I think one of the things about Ondrejkova and Zubori is when they're on fire, they bring it Mach 90. And I talked to Carrie Delmonico about that last night, knowing that this could be a potential matchup for their team. And she said, we'll see everything. They'll stay back. They'll play Australian. I look for them actually to start the match Australian and possibly take away Martina's cross-court shot. Martina is out there in the white pants, the gray top, yellow paddle, and she gets she gets on a roll with her return of serves and can hit forehand or her beautiful two-handed backhand and really set the play up for Zubori to just fly through, do some blitzing. Zubori's got, hands that are incredible. I saw her play in Chicago, and she just came up with some amazing shots that are going to be so fun to watch here.
Well, great. Well, you see the umpire out there is actually blowing the court. They got him doing all sorts of yeoman's work. So got a few leads here. It's a beautiful, beautiful fall day. What would you say? It's 55 degrees maybe?
I think so, Brad.
Paddles are coming in. There's a slight breeze. It's actually a perfect day to play paddle. And you see Jerry Viant giving the players instructions. So why don't you tell us who's on the far side and who's on the near side, actually, here, Patty?
Okay, so That's the back of Jerry Vian giving a high five to Anna Zubori, who's in the black pants, talking with Jerry on the diagonal right there, Brad.
On the far side of the net.
On
So
the
we
far
have
side.
Zubori and Ondrejkova.
Right.
Yeah.
Ondrejkova is the taller of the two players. And then Carrie Delmonico is tying her shoe in the red cap over to the left of our screen on the near side. And her partner is Mirta Molenveld with the orange hat.
All right, so we're going to have a few more minutes still here as we're going in, and he continues to blow the court because safety is extremely important out there. We have other quarterfinal matches that are going to be out there. So why don't you tell us about the other quarterfinal that will be out in case we go and live stream to that one as well, Patty?
Right, in this highly powered draw, we have Hanisch Van Starenburg. They're playing against Cruz and Radesno. We've got Curtis and Stoklisova. They're going to play against Dardis and Shea. There's a result from one quarter I haven't gotten yet, so I'm not sure about that. But this is on the top half of the draw, Brad, and the winner of this will play the winner of Cruz Radesno, Hanisch Van Starenburg.
Yeah, I was just up into the warming hut right before this, and all the quarterfinals are up there sort of getting ready. And it was like being in the back room of a prize fight, quiet. Some people were gabbing. Everybody was kind of taking to themselves and getting ready for these. Mm-hmm. These are tough quarterfinal matches. We have top seeds all out there. And so far, so it's going to be right now the number 2 seed against the number 8 seed, the 4 against the 5. So all these matches are going to be highly contested by players that are right in the top of the rankings.
And every team in the quarters here could be the winner of any national ranking tournament anywhere. That's how good the field is. And Long Island traditionally gets a great turnout of players. It's pretty easy to get to. We do get in some traffic from time to time, but...
What do you mean, Patty? Traffic out here in the tri-state? I don't believe it.
Players love coming here, and that's why the depth is so great, and that's kudos to Duane Hayden, Huntington Country Club, all these guys who have done an amazing job on behalf of LIPTA to hold this event every year.
Now, as you were mentioning before, this tournament has been a breakout event for a number of players over the years. A couple of years ago, it was Doria and Regan on the men's side. Last year, it was really the coming out party for Florentina Hanisch, who, as you mentioned before, won this event with Carrie Delmonico, who, again, is in our red cap, and I guess I'd call that a purple jacket.
Okay,
which
yep.
I'm sure she'll be getting rid of quickly because it is not cold out there. It's a warm weather day, which will be interesting because we talked earlier about the hard overheads that Zubori hits and those hard shots into the screen. And in the warm weather with a rubber core ball, anyone who's played a lot of paddle knows that ball moves a lot more. So it's very lively. Do you think that'll have any effect on the game or give one team an advantage or not, Patty?
I say advantage on Ondrejkova Zubori, Brad.
For the weather? Yeah.
I just think they have that quickness we talked about, and their ability to scramble, especially Zubori. Her quickness is really phenomenal. Sometimes it's fun to call these matches on the onset. So, Brad, let's make some picks.
You put it on the spot?
Yeah, let's go on the spot here.
I'm going to go on the spot, and I'm going to take Ondrejkova and Zubori, our number 5 seeds, for, I guess you have to call it an upset on the seedings, but you really wouldn't call it an upset. It's really a pick-em type of match.
Right, and that's Carrie Delmonico using the leaf blower. It looks a little awkward because I think it's the first time she's ever held one in her life, Brad.
She's doing a good job.
Delmonico and Molenveld are playing. This is the last event together because we expect to see the return of Carrie Flynn, Long Islander, who teamed up very successfully in the past with Molenveld. Had a leg injury and is due to come back after the holidays. So this will be their last event together. I feel like this match has a huge consequence for the continued rise of Ondrejkova Zubori. So for that, the motivation that they have, I'm going to pick them as well, Brad.
Okay, it'll be interesting. We're going to have to wait and see. You see, they got the ladder out there, and the daunting task of climbing up there still resides with John LaMountain as he picked up the last of the few leaves. And funny enough, as nature does, it cruelly drops more leaves, you can see in the camera. As they pick up one, another falls. So it is safe out there today. They just want to get rid of the debris. If it were wet and the leaves, then we'd have some issue with slippage. But, the conditions are perfect, actually, for a game out there today.
And we're lucky enough to have these volunteer umpires out here that make it a really nice thing for a fair match for all the players. takes the pressure off line calls a bit. And Brad, I have a memory of you from a couple of years ago out here when it was 20 degrees. I don't think you had socks on. You just came to do some live streaming. They're desperate for an umpire, and being a true APTA warrior, Brad, you got up in that chair, I think 2 matches in a row that day.
I got up in that chair with laryngitis. It was actually quite comical. I was doing a match with George Wilkinson and I believe it was Max Lepever, and George would take to asking me questions on the changeover just to make me talk more. And my voice was like this. I'd be like 30, 50. It was a rough, cold day up there, and I tell you, they are warriors. So you see right now, John LaMountain's actually giving the players instructions. They will be pre-warned before the match about foot faults. So if there is a foot fault, which of course is stepping on the line before you make contact with the serve, or inside the court before you make contact with the serve, that's going to be called. He's also going to be up there to overrule any line calls. If there are mistakes on line calls in a friendly game at home, you might play a let. Here, he's going to award the point if it's a mistake call.
So, Brad, I thought we already warmed up. What's going on here? We have to warm up after the warm-up?
Well, there's the initial warm-up, and then there's the warm-up. And this, I believe, is the warm-up section here, Patty.
Okay.
So we're good. And I think they're just waiting until they get rid of the ladder here. John's up there. And we'll be looking to start probably in a couple of minutes here. The players are mostly warmed up, and they'll have a little feel-out section. Now, at this point, how well do these players know each other? They know each other really well, Patty. So do you think there'll be any kind of feel-out section to the match?
No. I think each team's instantly going to go into what they know. Well, certainly for Ondrejkova and Zubori, who pulled out the last match. They know what works, they know what doesn't, and they take that confidence into this match. You'll see with any match Carrie Delmonico plays, she's a master strategist, so she'll be in Molenveld's ear all the time. She'll constantly adjust in this match.
Now, Carrie, of the 4 players, you would say Ondrejkova and Zubori are really strikers. They hit the ball hard. Pure hitters of the ball. Delmonico's, and you could even say Molenveld to some degree is a pretty heavy hitter too. A lot of heavy hitter. Delmonico actually has a little more finesse to her game, a little more trick shots. She'll hit a few cut overheads low. She'll vary the pace more. She can hit it, but she's going to have, of the players, the craftiest type of game. And we'll see if that comes into play, because hitting the ball out of the strike zone of Ondrejkova and Zubori is going to be huge, in Molenveld and Delmonico's success, because if they put their ball anywhere into a strike, zone for those guys, they do crush it. So keeping the ball in specific places and paces in the court, it's going to be a big difference out here.
And that's, one of Carrie's strengths is that she can lob to spots on the Brad on the court. She'll pick a spot. Every shot has purpose, and I would say an area of vulnerability for Ondrejkova and Zubori is a little bit of their net coverage. I saw a lot of it in Chicago, where there were decent amount of balls that were kind of in the gray area. It's kind of a tweener, not straightforward as to who should cover the shot. And they struggled with that a little bit. And then, I think we'll look for that from Carrie. I think that's how she breaks down players. She breaks them down going with the lobs and then the dinks.
Right.
A lot of pairs go straight power.
It's interesting, and we're talking about the evolution of the game and things like that. I mean, when Delmonico was first out, and she's a former national champion, she was the in thing and the dynamic new player with all the firepower. And now she's more the veteran out there, and these other guys are the firepower, and they play a little bit. What you're talking about is almost, we describe sometimes the team is playing tight, or, meaning there's very few spots at the right position every single time. And these guys, because they're going to play harder and faster shots, the game's going to move faster. There's going to be some looser places in there. And like you said, the net coverage might not be there. We'll see if Molenveld and Delmonico can exploit it. I tell you, the weather, just so we have an indication, we told you about 55, but I have to say it's still pretty ambitious for a guy in a t-shirt up there, and a skull cap is the only measure of coverage. So I would have to say I'd recommend the jacket for him, but he's the umpire. So
What are the odds of a 3-set match, Brad, in women's play in a
Guys,
quarterfinal?
don't worry about it.
The odds are extremely good. As we did mention, the last result was 6-3, 6-2 for, Zubori and Ondrejkova in their match against Molenveld and Delmonico. But you got to figure there's going to be a change, and there's going to be some good long, points in here, and we have a good odds at 3-setters in all these quarterfinal matches.
So they warm up as a team, and then they warm up singles, Brad? This is very odd. We usually do not have a delay like this to start a match.
Well, it's given us a good chance to see everybody out there and cover some good ground.
So, Brad, in the far side, in the white pants, Martina Ondrejkova. You've seen her play a lot of matches.
Absolutely.
Former national champ with Gabby Nicolescu. What do you see about her that you love as a player?
Well, she's tall, and she's got that reach.
Oh, so
she
she's
moves
tall?
in.
That's it, Brad?
Well, no. I was
You're
actually
dividing
continuing my point. I was going to say, and she uses that to her advantage on a variety of shots. She can move in, take the ball early. She's got good range on her drives. You hit a ball that you think is wide on somebody else, and she cuts it off and crushes it from the top of the bounce. And it just gives her a little bit range and more, of a dynamic presence in the backcourt. And that stuff is, going to be actually in play and on display today. So she's a big hitter, and Zubori's a big hitter. Zubori might be, is there a bigger hitter right now?
I don't think so.
I mean, she might be the biggest hitter, just in terms of pounding the ball, So she also has good volleys, Ondrejkova. She basically has the complete package. And like we say, the spots you can get everybody in these days, if they can get that return down, make her get down. That's the opposite side of being tall. You have to get down for those volleys. Make her pop up those balls and get some strikes. That'll be a key component for Delmonico and Molenveld.
One other thing, I'm a big fan of Martina's style of play and her temperament and her sportsmanship out here.
Yep.
She just stays even-keeled, respectful all the time to her partners and her opponents, and I love seeing that in the sport.
Now, if you watch the warm-up here, and you watch Mirta Molenveld in the, I guess I call it a peach or a pink vest.
Sure.
With her back to it, she's letting these overheads drop right down here, little shoulder level. You're going to see this shot a lot throughout the day and throughout the weekend here. And she's letting it drop, putting a little underspin, keeping the ball low. Why does she do that, do you think, Patty?
Well, she doesn't want to really add fuel to the fire, and the higher point of
I will be
contact
calling football.
with more pace will lead to more offensive opportunities for the highly powered team of Ondrejkova and Zubori. So it really behooves most paddle players let that ball drop down to shoulder length and try to push that ball deep, because then you can it's predictable where the next shot's going to go and where you need to position yourselves.
All right, I don't know if you could hear in the background or if the audience could hear, but you can hear the umpire, John LaMountain, giving already pre-warning on foot faults and actually telling one of the players that was a foot fault. So he's on top of it early. And I tell you, it's one of these things. The umpire's job is not that easy. These are all top competitors, and you have to basically call a foot fault on them. And again, that is stepping on the line or inside the court before striking the ball on the serve, which is a huge advantage to anybody who's trying to get to the net. So
I always think it's the best when an umpire calls a foot fault on you early, because then you're mindful, because you do forget. You're out there in the heat of the moment thinking about so many things, and sometimes you just simply forget. It's hard to believe, but you might not think about it.
Well, you're right. If there's a time to have it called on you, early would be better than at match point or 30-40 in the third set.
We've seen some moments where
right.
a call gets made that could, determine the outcome of a set.
And it's an interesting thing to be called a foot fault on you. It's upsetting. It actually makes you take a moment to step back and, actually just breathe and not let it affect you on the next point, because it can be quite upsetting. We all know as club players, foot faulting is a hot topic for everybody out there when you're playing in your club matches.
I think friendships are lost over foot faulting.
Well,
it's
a
highly
time-honored
contested
skill.
sometimes. So, Brad, I believe that after this warm-up, after the warm-up, we're almost ready to start this match.
So if you had to say who won the warm-up, actually, Patty, who would you say?
I think the umpire. I feel like
The
he's
umpire
really
won the warm-up.
well positioned He took his time getting up there, Brad. He's ready to go.
The leaf blowing, he did it all. All right, I think we're bringing it in.
But Brad, there's 4 leaves on the court now.
I told you they're going to keep coming.
We don't have to repeat that cycle again.
You guys are good? Give me that.
So this is a 2-out-3 set match.
All right. This is the Duane Hayden Long Island Invitational women's quarterfinal match. To the left of the chair, in the deuce court, Ondrejkova. In the ad court, Zubori. To the right of the chair, in the deuce court, Molenveld. In the ad court, Delmonico. Ondrejkova, Zubori won the elected to receive.
Not uncommon. Breaks of serve, real
Delmonico
common.
to serve.
All right, here we go. We're underway. All right, good first point. A few tries, a little feeling out. You can see Molenveld and Delmonico working the middle. No side screens, just dumping it down the
15
center.
love.
That's Delmonico serving. I mean, that little play right there, Brad, from Zubori. Just pulled that ball out way above her head. Controlled it. It's a great camera angle there.
Nice lob there from Molenveld. There's the dump down the middle. Nice controlled dipping drive. Forces the out volley. 15 all.
I think the volleys of Mirta are going to be the key, Brad, for Delmonico and Molenveld are successful. It's going to be, they're going to have to volley
15
really
all.
well.
Yeah, she got down there. She was just a little off the net. It's that big forehand. Placing it for an easy winner down the line, then the outside third. Great shots, ease of power, and great spots
15-30.
there by Zubori. Another rip drive, 15-40.
15-40.
A good spot.
Game.
See, there's a little
Ondrejkova,
positioning error
Zubori.
there by
They lead
you know,
1-1.
Delmonico was waiting that volley, and they had some confusion as to who was getting it. Whose volley do you think that should have been?
Well, I think we would both agree that was Delmonico's volley,
Yep.
Brad. They were both set up with their wall of backhands, and then Mirta kind of slid her paddle way to her right hip, and that's the great spot to aim for her, but Kerry would have handled that. It would have been a routine cover.
Yep.
And that's the issue that I see sometimes with Mirta at the net. She's not a supernatural volleyer, it looks like to me out here compared to the other 3.
Well, obviously
Zubori to
positioning and
serve.
getting up there and not giving them high strike points is going to be a big issue.
On a Zubori serving. Are nerves a factor right now, Brad, with Molenveld, do you think?
Well, I don't want to get inside her head, but there's a
15
couple
love.
loose shots there. All.
15 all.
That was a loose forehand volley there. And I don't know why she would choose to play it wide. It just seemed loose. I would have pushed that
15-30.
deep down the middle. All right, 15-40. Couple loose volleys there from Ondrejkova.
15-40.
Good spot there, and a great deep volley there by Zubori.
30-40.
You can see the Delmonico strategy of taking some returns right at Martina at the net, Brad.
Yep.
Both of them went into this match, knowing that they would take about a quarter of the returns up the line, try to keep them a little bit more honest, and maybe see if you can get a quick volley error. If you can catch the person a little, unsuspecting of your shot.
Game.
All right, there's a break right back, so it's 1 game all.
Delmonico.
Definite feeling out process here.
Molenveld.
Five. 1 game all. Molenveld to serve. First one, love 50. He was 3-0 on turn shot. Big in the missed volley. They're going to have to deal with that.
Her return and how she can just spot it. You think our low percentage, high percentage.
Already starting with a I formation, and actually Molenveld staying back. Deal with the like that.
Love 40.
Have a volley to make. Let it go through. Play it off the back. Loose.
Game.
Just out. Trying to play control
Ondrejkova,
drive.
Zubori.
Little spin. Missed it long. It's 2-1
They
now.
lead 2 games to 1.
So 3 breaks to serve right away. Quick game.
They are probing a little bit. They're going to be. No one's really found any.
Right now we're lacking a little execution. They're filling out their shots, and we've missed a few balls we wouldn't expect to see missed, I think, in a few games from here.
Ondrejkova to serve.
Oh, good try at the cover. Now you see the position there with Delmonico standing way inside the service, almost to the service line. She's looking for a blitz opportunity
15
off
love.
of Molenveld's return, but she didn't get that return low. So Ondrejkova was able to hit an attacking volley, not a pop-up volley. There's another blitz.
Wise to let that ball go by.
Absolutely. Sometimes it's hard to
15
lay
all.
off those. That's the return they were looking for that first time. That downward angle, dipping in there, tough spot off Zubori's right hip.
15-30.
All right,
Molenveld's
15-40.
return of serve, I think, is one of her biggest weapons, Brad. When she plays.
15-40.
Absolutely. There goes Delmonico in again. Couple falls to close it out. 2-all.
And Delmonico, part of the
Game
reason she
Delmonico.
stands up there, Brad, is almost to be a little
Molenveld,
bit of a distraction.
2-2.
Yep. It puts a lot of pressure on the receiver to think on the first volley or on the server to know that somebody's there to pick it off if you pop up the ball. There's the serve and stay back, taking the drive out of play now. It's kind of a smart play. See if we can get our first hold here.
Talking about a little bit of the off-speed shots from Carey.
And you see her standing in and mixing up, trying to hit, push them back, quick strikes. Just wide. Question from the umpire. I believe he confirms it.
Love 15.
Brad, Manley and Ruoff just became our final team to get into the quarterfinals here. They had a 6-4, 4-6, 6-3 victory over Cobbs and Tarzan.
Wow, that sounds like a war. Too bad for the hometown team. Cobbs and Tarzan, a great Long Island team. But that's our next quarterfinalists against our number 3 seeds, Liz Cruz and Gabby Nicolescu.
15 all.
Brad, how many different service formations have we seen already in 4 games from these teams?
I think we've seen 4, and there's probably 1 or 2 more. We'll see variations of the same ones. Now, they're doing the right things. They're taking the service return out of play, but then she's missing a basic lob. You got to play a tight point from the backcourt if you're going to do that.
15,
she's trying to hit
30.
a perfect ball over her head, and it just hit it out. See, Molenveld let that go through when she didn't have a good shot at it. Smart.
I can see Delmonico is content not to switch back, Brad, and get back into her home base of the ad court here. Maybe they learned something from the last match, trying to get Mircha's forehand more involved during the point. But I don't think Zubori and Ondrejkova are going to give her too many forehands that are going to set her up.
Oh, there's one. She's
Yep.
going to take it. 3/4 roller. Oh. She saw her off the net, tried to dip it low. Just tried to make it a little
15,
too low.
40.
All right, double break point. Again, we have not had a game point on serve yet for the serving team. A roller heavy at Ondrejkova. Good shot right into the crease. All right, 30-40.
30-40.
They're going to play I formation. You can see her putting her finger in the back, telling her where she's going to move and where to serve.
It is interesting, Brad. 10 years ago, there'd be 1 or 2 breaks a set. Here, there's 1
Game,
or 2 holds a set.
Ondrejkova, Zubori. They lead 3-2.
Now there was an interesting play there.
First set.
You see Ondrejkova over, hitting a hard ball into the screen, which brings Delmonico in. And then you see Molenveld blitz, assuming that Delmonico is going to hit the hard shot and she's going to get a blitz opportunity. But instead, Delmonico goes for like a half-pace kind of roller, and it just leaves Molenveld up there, hanging out to dry, where they put the volley behind her easily. So they're going to have to work that out as a team. If Molenveld's going to blitz, she's going to have to drive that ball down low and hard to give her an opportunity. Otherwise, she's going to get burned by that. $15 love.
15 love.
And that's the advantage of a team who plays tournament after tournament together. They have the instincts on each other's shots, tendencies, and that's what Molenveld and Delmonico don't have so much.
You do see Molenveld and Delmonico talking a lot in between every point, more actually than Ondrejkova and Zubori at this point. That was a great return there from Kerry Delmonico.
15
Take it
all.
early, top of the bounce, and making it go down. $15-30.
15-30.
Just when I thought we were going to have a hold, Brad.
15-40. Well, it's not over yet, but we did see
15-40.
John Lamountain check the height of the net, so
It's an awkward
Right.
volley.
yeah, it's
Game.
just a forehand volley. She's trying
Games
to
are
actually hit
3-all.
an offensive volley there. All right, 3-all.
Molenveld to serve.
All right, 6 breaks to serve.
Brad, Brad, one of the things in these matches, we talk about pace of play. And the pace of play of this match is vintage Delmonico in anyone.
Right.
She's slowing it down. All that chatter is to control the pace of play. Ondrejkova and Zubori would much prefer to play faster paced points here.
Okay, well, I just had some information. I was talking actually mostly in jest about the height
Love
of the net.
15.
But the net we're playing with here on our live stream court is a brand new APTA logo net, and they put it up and measured it and checked the height all today right before the match. Just out. That's a pretty good eye there from Zubori. That ball was only out by an inch or so.
Love 30. Foot fault.
All right, our first football called. Love 40 now. Yeah, it's
Love
gonna be
40.
one of these interesting games. You know, they're serving first, but they can't get ahead. They keep getting broken, so they're playing from behind. That wears on you. Good first volley there. Zubori stuffed it at Delmonico, but she had great reflexes
15,
right
40.
back at her. I tell you, there's nothing better than a love 40 hole. We'll see if they can pull that off.
What a pickup from Zubori down low there.
Shot at the crease. They're going for it again. Nice. There's the hard roller. She's making Delmonico chase. And then putting it back in. She's hitting the weak. Oh.
You can see Delmonico's ability to anticipate is phenomenal. And it has to be.
Just
Game.
pushed it long. And that's what happens sometimes in those points when you make the
Ondrejkova,
player
Zubori,
chase.
they lead
She gets a little
4
tired,
games 3.
a little mentally worn, and then just misses basic lob, trying to make it too good. All right, another break. 7 breaks in a row.
So I'm going to go out on a limb and say the first team who holds serve is going to win the first set, Brad.
You going out on a limb with that, huh?
I'm going out on a limb.
You know, well, I'm not going to contradict you on that because it seems to be going that way. And
Ondrejkova to serve.
Sure.
Carrie had 5 choices there.
15 love.
She went for a little bit too much on the wide one. You know, the old adage, hit it at or between your opponents, not around them. Nice ball.
Again, another return of serve right at the net player. That is common.
But Carrie's got a great screen
15
drive. I don't know why
all.
they're serving so hard into the screen. I'd keep the ball lower and get in more. And don't let her hit that ball from high to low. Great serve. First ace of the match.
30-15.
It's a pressure ball. They're going to go to an I formation or Australian. Just on the line off the net. Good cover there. Ball in the crease. Easily handled by Molenveld.
Fred, one other thing Delmonico told me going into this match is she believes Zubori and Ondrejkova like to serve really hard. And if she can let those balls early on hit the back screen and she can go right at one of the net players, that would be something she would be really comfortable doing, and that could maybe make the servers a little bit tentative, having to serve with maybe a little more spin, less pace.
Oh, she did it perfectly before. Little miscommunication there from Delmonico and Molenveld. All right, our first
40,
game
15
point on serve. 40-15 for a 3 lead for Ondrejkova and Zubori. There's
Game,
our first hold.
Ondrejkova, Zubori, they lead 5-3.
All right, well, they're going to have to get their first hold right back to stay in this match here on the first set.
Delmonico serving. Ondrejkova returning serve.
Ondrejkova very comfortable hitting forehand volleys. It's 4 in a row.
There's Zubori in the same point. Hit 3 different overheads, Brad. 4 different overheads.
That's a smart play there by Molenveld and Delmonico.
15
Delmonico
love.
good lob down the line. Waits for that short
Delmonico
ball.
serving.
Gets a low drive. Elicits the error from Ondrejkova. Gotta stay low. That ball was flying out, but she's too high. She gets hit. Zubori is not afraid to hit it hard right at the player.
15 all.
Brad, club level players hate it when their opponents drive at them. They
Yep.
think it's dirty pool, where highest level of the sport.
15-30.
It's all part of the
common.
game. Absolutely. A rare miss there on that drive. It's been very reliable. 30 all.
30 all.
Just waiting for that ball to hit from high to low. That's the one. Drop shot coming. Good anticipation. Great shot on the line.
Oh, wow.
It is not easy to put that ball up there running full speed. That was a great touch there by Molenveld and good anticipation. Sometimes a little disguise would be good in that situation. She had her and she thought she just wanted to
40,
drop.
30.
She should have held it maybe and then pushed it deep. But great play by Molenveld.
And that's where Zubori, the more she plays, the more she'll learn those little situations where you can hold the shot longer and really wrong foot your opponents a little bit more.
Smart deep overhead right at her. Molenveld, good. Chase it down well. All right, there we go. Second hold. How about that?
Game. Delmonico, Molenveld.
All right, so we have some great sponsors for our event here. And Uline is the leading distributor
Ondrejkova,
of shipping,
Zubori lead
industrial, and
first set,
packaging materials to
5-4.
businesses throughout North America. They ship over 2.5 million boxes
Zubori
every
to
day.
serve.
But they are so much more than a box company. More than 32,000 quality products are always in stock and ready to ship. Outstanding customer service means they're here when you need them, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Uline, the best selection, products, and people for an unforgettable customer experience.
So we've got Zubori serving 5-4.
That was a great hold there by Delmonico. Really well done. Forced the other team to actually hold and serve it out. And that, you know, in one of the games before, Zubori threw in a couple of faults. We'll see what happens. That's a great shot. shot into the crease. Right there. Aiming for that crease is one of the things that high-level players do. You hit it, ball comes off.
15, love.
Couldn't track it down. Delmonico looking to blitz. Looking to have Molenveld blitz. There's the return and blitz. Beautifully executed. You can see that. See, actually, Delmonico, almost like a baseball player, holding her glove. She puts her paddle down. She whispered, "Move in." Great, great captaincy there by Delmonico.
Brad, we have a little bit of an upset possibly in the making. Curtis and Stoklazova have won the first set 6-2 over Dardis and Shea in a quarterfinal match in the bottom half of the draw.
Well, I would never count out the consummate warriors of Dardis and Shea, but Curtis and Stoklazova are a great team, and I think they're sort of waiting to break out a little bit. You know, former national champion Vicky Stoklazova, you know, not
30,
too long ago,
15.
probably the best player in the game, or one of them for sure. And Jada Curtis, tremendous tennis player, learning every single day. So we'll keep you updated on that. Oh, great volley there. 30 all. Tried another blitz play. The return didn't get as low.
40, 15.
All right, 2 set points.
Game and set to Ondrejkova, Zubori, 6-4.
All right, so there is the first set, and you were right in your prediction. The first team to hold did win the set. All right, we'll be right back in just a moment after these messages, right here on the APTA Network, presented by eNet Live.
Not even close to the end, it's just beginning. Life is getting lighter while the days are getting brighter, yeah. And then so good, I won't even worry anymore. Took all my cares, took and kicked them all out the door. Go on and try, come and tell me what you're waiting for. Move and keep them going till your life is overflowing, yeah. I do a dance of victory, cause now I'm living good. No, I'm not living like I used to be. Now talk about things, talk about my mind. Now I'm free from the words that I left behind. I gotta jump for joy and shout aloud and make a sound. Oh, the world can stop me now, no. And on the music I will ride on the beat. Play my guitar while I'm stomping my feet, yeah. I gotta celebrate life, I get excited about good times, good living. Come on, shout it out, hey! Take it up, take it over, take it out of control. Today I'm freeing my soul and now you got me singing, oh, hey, I'm feeling fine.
Welcome back to the Duane Hayden Long Island Invitational. We're in the quarterfinal round match with Kerry Delmonico serving against Zubori and Ondrejkova. And the first set was won there by Ondrejkova and Zubori, 6 games to 4.
30.
And it's already love 30 in this game as we get back to the action. So what do you think of the first set there, Patty?
Brad, I just thought it was a little inconsistent. No one really
15, 30.
No one ever got on a roll with points. It went back and forth, and then, you know, there was only one hold, and it wasn't until the 8th game of the set. And in fact, you know, Ondrejkova and Zubori held on.
15, 40.
Yep, we'll see now. And the thing I'd take into it more is Ondrejkova and Zubori didn't have too many, you know, places. They looked a little more comfortable on the court. A couple of, you know, moments where Delmonico
30,
and Molenveld
40.
weren't sure what they're doing. Now they're doing the 2 back. That's the first formation we've seen this time of this. Both players back, not even bothering to go in. Monaco spotting drives.
Brad, I think sometimes it comes down to a matchup, and against certain teams, you're more comfortable playing the baseline, let's say, over the net against a team. And by playing the baseline, you take away a baseline, you know, the other team's firepower, and maybe the shots that fuel their greatness. Where if Kerry and Mirta can handle the overheads of Ondrejkova and Zubori,
Yep.
you know, again, we talk about pace of play, and here we go, Kerry kind of working the point, slowing it down again. You spoke about how Zubori and Ondrejkova have done very little talking because they really haven't had to. They kind of know what each other's up to, and
That was a good opportunity ball there set up. A little bit of a miss hit. Delmonico good.
I
Great
just don't
get
see
there.
enough explosiveness out of Delmonico and Molenveld here.
Well, they're trying to work a point-specific way. High lobs to wait for the ball that, you know, Ondrejkova and Zubori are going to hit down to up so they can hit a ball down at their feet. But right now, Ondrejkova and Zubori are just more comfortable up there at the net.
And right there, that lob, Brad, coming from Molenveld up the middle. In Chicago, they struggled with the
Game,
coverage. There right
Ondrejkova,
away,
Zubori.
took it. She was the player
They
to the
lead
left,
second set
handling more of the
1-0.
overheads.
All right, we'll see how this works in here right now. So save a tree, tree, lub, and lawn care. Tree, shrub, and lawn care. APTA thanks our official sponsor, Save a Tree, the green choice for tree, shrub, and lawn care. Let Save a Tree focus on your landscape so you can focus on your game. Enjoy every outdoor moment at home or at play. Save a Tree provides environmentally sensible services to properties in the Northeast, Mid-Atlantic,
Ondrejkova to
Midwest,
serve.
and Western regions. Contact them at saveatree.com for a complimentary landscape assessment by a knowledgeable arborist. All right, as we cut back in here, Zubori unloaded on a backhand there, but it was a little lower than she wanted it to be, so she hit it into the net.
Love 15.
I do love how Delmonico is constantly in contact with Molenveld, trying to find a way to crack through the Zubori and Ondrejkova games. Again, they go for the blitz, but the return is not low enough or spotted well enough, and more putaways, I think, for
15
Ondrejkova
all.
and Zubori on the blitz than there have been for Molenveld and Delmonico. It can be a good play, but it's a risk-reward play. Good leave there by Ondrejkova.
30-15.
I was talking about Zubori and Ondrejkova's net coverage, Brad, and since Chicago, they seem much better. They're doing a really good job handling the lobs that are hit from Delmonico and Molenveld, and it was a little bit of a struggle for him, Chicago, but they're so much smoother today.
40-15. Game. Ondrejkova, Zubori. They lead 2 games, 0 second set.
And Brad, as a team, you know, Zubori and Ondrejkova, one of the newer teams, combinations this season,
Molenveld to serve.
their upside is just incredible.
Oh yeah,
I would look for them
they
to be
definitely could
contenders
win this
at
tournament for sure.
nationals this year. That's how good they are.
Oh, Delmonico makes an out call. We'll
I
see
saw
what
it
the
out.
mountain says.
15 love.
The umpire confirms the call. 15 love for Molenveld serving. All right, it's love 2. Don't want to get too far behind her. Good start here from Zubori and Ondrejkova in this set. She's taking strikes, but missed probably only doing about 50% on those. That number's going to have to get up if they're going to get into this match because they're playing from the backcourt.
15
so you
all.
need those drives.
So, Coach Brad, what are you going to tell them to do? If you had that earpiece and you could turn it on right now for Delmonico and Molenveld, what do you think they could do right now to change this match? I hate to put you on the spot, but I know you're the answer man.
Well, the answers in this case to me are pretty simple. I mean, you see a missed lob there, a missed drive.
15,
They're just gonna
30.
have to tighten it up. And they should focus on putting lobs in certain spots and lurking for specific balls to hit. You know, right now, you know, if they're going to do the blitz play, I actually would put that in the bag right now until they start
15,
getting a
40.
foothold in some of these points. And they should be saying, I'm going to be lobbing this ball cross court and look for the ball in this place. And when it's not there, we're going to keep going because they're just going to have to get more consistent. And one way to get more consistent is to eliminate variables and look for specific shots. Because right now they're just making too many mistakes.
30-40.
All right, the two-back play.
Brad, you said it early in the match. It's about execution. Delmonico and Molenveld have had a lot of chances already, but they're just
Game.
not
Ondrejkova,
able to
Zubori. They
put a
lead
string of
third
points
set
together yet.
3-0.
Oh, and sometimes you have these matches, you know, where you just take the right shot but you miss it. Viking Athletics. Viking Athletics is the premier brand and the undisputed leader in platform tennis. Viking is platform tennis. The Viking Extra Duty platform ball has been the #1 selling ball in the industry for the last 20 years. It is the official ball of the APTA Nationals and President's Cup, and of the Grand Prix Tour. The official paddle of the APTA is also a Viking paddle, engineered
Zubori
to provide
to
superior
serve.
feel and perfect balance of power, control, and spin and durability.
The APTA is lucky to have 3 great supportive sponsors, Brad, and the game is thriving thanks to their support.
Absolutely. You see,
15
Zubori, they're
love.
holding that drop shot, faking a little bit of a hard hit, much more effective that way. Oh, caught him in a, what was sort of their I formation, and then having Ondrejkova move over to the outside, create a little movement in that
15
team, but she
all.
caught not in a backhand volley position. There we go. That's the return we haven't been seeing yet, though.
And Brad, right there you saw the explosiveness of Mirt when she had the opportunity to move for a ball, and I think Zubori and Ondrejkova have done a great job of hitting balls right into Molenveld's body when she's on the baseline. They've not really given her many opportunities to kind of, you know, use her tremendous reach, and she got it on that serve, and that's what she's capable of. I think great teams take away offensive weapons from the other team, and I think that's what we're seeing out here.
Oh, absolutely. That was the first crush drive we've seen. Nice volley there by Molenveld. You see them changing tactics a little. This point's a little faster now. Harder hit overheads into the screens by Delmonico and Molenveld.
Zubori is serving. 15-30.
What do you think?
15-30.
Turn to serve straight ahead, right at Martina, Brad.
I think she might. Depends where it goes. I didn't call that.
30 all.
Let's see if Molenveld can pull the trigger
I'm
on
sorry.
another big drive.
15-40.
15-40. Players are correcting the umpire that time. Great serve.
Coming toward us, Brad.
Great serve. Right into the backhand side. A little too big a swing there by Molenveld.
Brad, this might give you a little time to do some of your Christmas shopping. You know, we can go on to Uline, and they have such speedy service. And if you have any questions about your order, I mean, you get someone picks up the phone before the second ring. That's their company motto, Brad.
No, that's great. I do have some Christmas shopping to do.
Yeah, you got some football fans in the family. You can get some great gear, and you can pack and ship them thanks to Uline.
$30-40.
All right, break point here. Let's get a foothold in here for Delmonico and Molenveld. There's the return right at her, 2 in a row.
That's vintage Delmonico, that little off-speed angle.
So that backhand roller from Molenveld has not been
Deuce.
It's trying to be a probing drive. She's not even trying to kill it, but she's been missing it. She's going to have to put that in the bag or start coming over a little more spin.
Brad, and the other thing you said, go right at them, not around them. Make
Another
them hit
high
the
roller,
ball.
little
Let
long.
them hit a volley.
Add in.
All right, game point here for a 4-love lead.
Wow, big swing here.
That's a great ball into the crease. Well played. You got to call help on that.
Game.
Technically,
Ondrejkova,
that should
Zubori.
be
They lead
Delmonico's
second
ball.
set 4-0. Delmonico to serve.
Delmonico woke up this morning, Brad, and realized she packed her wrong paddle. She didn't have her favorite paddle.
Oh.
Maybe that's a factor here.
You know, I've never been that suspicious, but if you don't have your equipment, of course it's going to make a difference. Wow, that's a heck of a shot. I'd love to see that again. That is an amazing shot there by Zubori off the screen.
Love
Cross-court
15.
angle. We'll see if we can get that at the end of the game. Take another look at that.
Love 30.
That's a great return over the top there by Ondrejkova.
Love 40. Game Ondrejkova Zubori. They lead second set 5-0.
I think it's now or never time, Patty. You had any 5-0 comebacks in your career? Your illustrious career?
I actually did one time, Brad.
Very good.
I mean, I don't really remember the specifics other than Cleveland, and we were down 5-0.
Ondrejkova to serve.
We came back, won a set, 7-5.
Nice. Win the match?
Finals and Nationals lost.
Oh!
3 sets.
Sorry to bring it up.
That's okay. So this is going really fast here for Ondrejkova and Zubori. Kind of not surprising, to tell you the truth.
That's a great return there from Molenveld, but we haven't seen enough of that. If there's time to heat up, it's
Love
now.
15.
You know, the shots just haven't been working, you know, for Molenveld and today. You know, a few of those missed backhand rollers. I mean, sometimes that's the way the day goes. And no matter what their tactic was, they couldn't get a foothold with it. Zubori and Ondrejkova are much more comfortable out there today. And now they're just pressing and hoping. 15-all, that's a tough shot.
15 all.
Wow. Great hands there by Zubori.
Got an update. Dardis and Shea are playing against Stoklasova and Curtis, and they're at 2-all in the second set. Stoklasova and Curtis won the first set.
6 games to 2. Yeah, that I have
15
no doubt
30.
Dardis and Shea are thinking their way through this, but Curtis and Stoklasova definitely have the firepower to win that. She goes for the dink there. I'd like to see her pull the trigger a little more. Those haven't been working well today because they're so comfortable.
30 all.
They're not feeling any real pressure. Got to back them off a little with occasional hard drive. All right, here it is, match point.
40 30.
Oh, good read, but it is
Game,
out.
set, and match. Ondrejkova Zubori. 6-4, 6-love.
Well, you heard the announcer right there, John Lamount. Thanks to him up in the chair, just outplayed today, and I just feel like they didn't have their
played.
best game. You know, Molenveld and Delmonico.
I don't
A little
think we're shaking hands
miscommunication. The
unless you get a
backhand
lot
roller
taller.
wasn't working in the middle. They didn't have nearly the pressure they wanted to with the returns and the blitzes. So sometimes that happened. You know, that was a tough one. Any final thoughts on that match there?
Yeah, it just was one of those matches, Brad, that was a little strange in terms of the tempo, and you never really felt like either team had their footing necessarily, but I think it came down to unforced errors and way too many from Delmonico Molenveld.
Yeah. Well, we'll take a look at the draw that's coming forward here in our draw landscape, you know, presented by Save-A-Tree, because we got some more great matches coming up.
Brad, we're in the other quarterfinals. We just got an update that Hanisch and Van Sterenberg just won the first set 6-3 over Cruz and Rindezzo.
All right, so you see in that corner there, that quarterfinal is done. So in the other quarters, you just gave us the
top quarter is Hanisch Van Sterenberg. Then the second half of the draw, we have Cruz and Nicolescu, and they're going to play against Manley and Ruoff, who had just had a great 3-set win to get into the quarters. And then we have the Dardache Curtis Stoklakova
match going on right now. Well, that brings us to D'Addario. D'Addario is the world's largest designer, manufacturer, and distributor of musical instrument accessories, including D'Addario strings, reeds, and mouthpieces for woodwind instruments and percussion accessories such as Evans drum heads and ProMark drumsticks. D'Addario is a family-owned and operated business based here on Long Island, and its products are used by the musicians all over the world, including touring professionals, amateurs, bands, and orchestras. In fact, John D'Addario is actually playing in our draw today. He's quite an accomplished paddle player, Nassau Country Club here on Long Island. So we're getting ready soon for a quick interview by Jerry. But why don't we take a, we'll get back to the draw here and take a look. So you're saying it's so Ondrejkova and Zubori are going to move on to the semifinals, and on their half of the draw, they have possible matchup between either Cruz Rudesno or Hanisch Van Staren. So we're going to get ready to go down there to Jerry, talking with our winners.
They look very calm, don't they, Brad?
There was never a time where they were stressed during the match. You never thought, and you got this feeling, even though the first set was 6-4 and it was a little in the balance, it was more like they were throwing in faults or this or that. You didn't feel like Delmonico and Molenveld were actually forcing the action. All right, Jerry, we're going to go down to the interview.
All right, we're on. Congratulations, guys. It's starting to feel like a rematch of the Lake Invitational, right? 2 weeks ago, you played same two teams?
Yes, well, it's different conditions. It looked like it was a different time of the year. It was a raining conditions match, difficult conditions. Today was just a beautiful day, so it was more enjoyable for sure.
So what do you think that the difference was today for you?
I think in the second match we had a little bit of mental edge because we played them like two weeks ago, and I think we obviously had to work hard, but we knew that if we can hang in there, we can do it.
And it looked like you guys, now this is your first season playing together, looks like you're starting to find the glue here.
Well, you have Martina. She's, first of all, can be a better person to start with, and then player, and then it's always hard to be at her level. So I felt like I was, just trying not to disappoint her. Now we started to play better, and I feel that, we're really good mentally, helping each other at difficult times. So hopefully that's going to be our strength.
Yeah, well, I mean, spectacular shot making. It's fun to watch. I'm sure it's a lot of fun for you too, right?
Oh, I love it. Anna, she has so much talent, and sometimes she comes out with these shots that I have no idea how she does it, and there are no words for them.
All right, so you're going to have a little break now. Do you know, have you looked at the draw?
Yes.
All right, so you know which half of the draw you're on?
Yes.
Any predictions looking over my shoulder?
It's going to be a great match. I don't know who we play because they're still on, but very good, tough teams. I think it's going to be a showtime, whoever is on the other side.
All right, so what do you do now with the break? I'm always interested to know what the player's routine is. So what are you going to do now?
Usually I take a shower after each match just to keep my body warm and stay dry. So I'm probably going to hit the locker room and change. And
What do I do though?
yeah, there's lots of texting in between. She has lots of fans, lots of friends in Europe, so she's pressed to keep up and update everybody.
Right, well,
Thank
good for
you.
you. Congratulations, you
Thank
guys.
you. Thank you.
And I'm going to throw it back up to Patty and Brad, and we're going to kick over to court 2.
All right, thank you very much, Jerry, for that great interview with our winners there. Congratulations to Ondrejkova and Zubori for a 6-4-6 quarterfinal victory. And they're awaiting the winner of this match in their semifinal.
5 games to 2. Second set, after having won the first set, 6 games to 3.
So, Hanish van Starenburg, I believe, Brad, what did the umpire just say the score was?
5-2, second set. We'll try to get an update on that. Didn't quite
Okay.
catch
All
that.
right. Hanish and Van Starenburg are leading in this second set, 5-2. And won the first set, 6-3.
And that's
Thank
Doug
you.
Barrow up there, and he gave us a great report. So Hanish van Starenburg, 1 game away for this match here against Cruz Redesno, who basically have only lost to our top 3 seed. So why don't you tell us who's serving here?
So that's Marcela Redesno serving, Brad. And Miriam Cruz is in the deuce court right now with the blue vest. She may look familiar to you because she's the twin of Liz Cruz.
Absolutely.
On the far side, hitting that ball with the red paddle, is Annika van Starenburg, and that's Flora Hanish.
All right, so right now up 6-3, 5-2. It's do or die time now for Cruz Redesno. You see them playing 2 players back and not wanting to, deal with the returns of Hanish van Starenburg. Heavy roller.
And Van Starenburg and Hanish are the defending national champions, Brad. They came through, had a phenomenal run in Philadelphia last year in March.
Drop shot.
And Redesno and Cruz are just getting better and better every tournament. They are
Love 15.
really improving, and watch a lot of them going. They're really talented.
All right, love 15. See, they're Van Starenburg hitting a hard over into the screen, baiting the
Love
drive.
30.
She retreats back. All right, so it's love 30 now. That was a great play by Van Starenburg. Hit it hard into the screen and then retreated, knowing the drive was coming. To get it off the back screen, but she wanted Redesno to go for that shot. She did, and she missed it. Now it's love 40, triple match.
Love 40.
Doug Barrow up in the chair, as I mentioned before. Great Long Island player.
We've got a 4:30 semifinal match coming up right after this, Brad. Assuming this finishes, well, there could be a little time. I just realized it's only 3:15.
There
Game,
it is.
set,
Game,
and
set,
match.
match.
Hanish and Van Starenburg, 6-3, 6-2.
Well, we're
Just from
sorry we
that-
didn't get to see
You
more
are
of that,
very
Brad.
welcome.
These are 4 really talented players, and
Yep,
that's a
just
shame
from
we just caught the end of it.
Brief snippet we got there. You can see that Redesno in one part of the drive, and like Van Starenburg and Hanish were playing heavy and more of a dynamic brand. The other guys were trying to slow it down, and they just had no answers. All right, so we're going to wrap it up. Look, we're going to wrap it until 4:30, in which case when we're going to have women's semifinals. We're looking forward to one of the semifinals will be Hanish van Starenburg against Zubori and Ondrejkova, and we'll see you guys then.